All right. I got a text last night from the voice of Indianapolis, the self-proclaimed voice of Indianapolis, Dan Dakich, host of Don't At Me podcast on Outkick, former college head coach, played and starred under Bobby Knight at Indiana. So you send me the text. All right. Tell me why the Pacers going to win in 6.
Hi, DP. Well, I like the Pacers. You know why I like the Pacers, DP? They move the basketball. They move people. They move the ball. They've got a stud late game. I know you have Reggie on all the time, and I'm glad he's on the call. Haliburton reminds me of Reggie in a lot of ways. They look alike. I mean, both slim, slender, kind of funky jump shots that go in all the time. But Big D, the biggest reason he ain't afraid in the clutch, man. It's two clutch dudes, Brunson against Haliburton late, and Haliburton is not afraid. Brunson's not afraid. Pacers got a good team. Carlisle's a great coach, and they're just better. There's a better team right now.
Well, the Knicks were pretty impressive this past series, right? But
I think Knicks are terrific.
But are you factoring in the fact that Tatum got hurt and they would have – do you think they would have beaten the Celtics if Tatum was still playing and was healthy?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think something was off with the Celtics, DP. I do. I think something was off. I think that the Celtics weren't the Celtics of last year. Look, I like the Knicks, and last year really doesn't matter, Pacers versus the Celtics. I mean, Anunoby, the Indiana grad, by the way, has become a fantastic four-way player. You know, you want to post up, you want to rebound, you want to run, you want to score in half court, you want to score in full. It doesn't matter. He's just become a really good player. He didn't play last year. Hartenstein was very good last year. I look for Miles Turner to have a terrific series. I just think the Pacers are one of those teams, Dan, that you know how you start out and you go through crap. They were lousy. Haliburton wasn't guarding. A lot of questions. Even Haliburton questioned himself. And then you come through hard times. And when you come through hard times, it either breaks you or makes you. And the Pacers are good, man. They are tough. They're resilient. This is a much better Pacer team. I know it's a better Knicks team than last year, but it's a better Pacer team than last year, too. And the other guy is Siakam. My favorite all-time player was Bob Love, number 10, Chicago Bulls, wore it my whole life. And he and Bobby Dandridge of the Bucks used to face off. And that's what Siakam got, that fadeaway, the mid-range. I love watching this guy. And they're just really good. They're just really well coached and really good and a much better team this year than last.
Tyrese Haliburton's dad allowed back to watch?
No, but I wish he was. I do. I know what he did was stupid, and I criticize, but I wish he was. I mean, okay, you acted like a dumbass. You took advantage of, the Pacers' kindness. I was saying no good deed goes unpunished. Pacers gave him those seats. He screwed it up. All right. I wish he was. No, apparently, unless there's been something done without an announcement, John Haliburton won't be able to watch. Enough. All right. Let's go. Let's let him back in the bill. Haliburton, you ever talk to him? I'm sure you have. He is a great dude. Like, all right, his dad did what he did. Maybe his dad's a pain in the ass, fine. But Haliburton's a great dude. Let the dad in to watch the game. Why not?
How does Haliburton get voted most overrated player by the players in the NBA during the regular season?
Dan, I was told it wasn't by the players. I was told it was by somebody. Each organization had a vote. Now, I could be wrong about that. No, that one was the players. The executive wasn't the players. I don't know, but if you look on that list, a pretty good list, Dan. I mean, LeBron's on that list. Giannis is on that list. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, damn.
But
that's a pretty good list to be on. He just happened to be the king. You know what I like about him? He's like your guy, Reggie. Reggie, by the way, Reggie kicked my ass my last college game in the Garden, UCLA, Indiana, NIT championship. So I've always admired Reggie and his ability.
Were you guarding him?
Yeah, Knight would play me. He was mad at me, and I would play the second half. We beat Tennessee. He put me in the second half. I had to guard Johnny Newman, a longtime pro, against Richmond. Knight was mad. I played the second half, came out against Reggie. We had this. I told you this before. We had this clown assistant coach named Con Smith who told us to play off Reggie and front Gary Melanson. You don't even know who Gary Melanson is?
You were supposed to let Reggie Miller shoot?
Yes. Big D. Hey, that was, and then Knight, I see over there, Knight's taking me out, so I drive it, try to get fouled. I'm out. And I'm standing there during the timeout, and Nancy Knight's wife, is MFing me. My mother can hear it, Dan. My mother. She's like, Dakich, you're the worst MFing leader. And I'm like, wait a second. Your staff told me to let Reggie Miller shoot and guard Gary Melanson. Hey.
Why didn't Knight say something to you? He's Mr. Defense.
I think he had checked out, but it was, it was a championship game of the NIT. The Garden was packed. It was UCLA, Indiana. And we're like, now remember, we're taking away Melanson. And I'm like, wait a second. I watched Late Night with the Pac-12 or 10, whatever the hell it was, Pac-8 it was called. I know Reggie Miller is the guy. Anyway, I digress. Sorry about that.
Coach Knight yelled at me. I had a sit-down one-on-one with him. So I was at the Garden covering that, and I sat down with him, and I was asking him about the NIT. I knew he loved the NIT.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to play to his strengths a little bit. He thinks I'm criticizing the NIT for some reason, and he says something, and then he gets up and storms out. And I was like, what just happened? I thought I was saying something nice. And then he stormed out of it. And then all of a sudden PR people run in like, what happened? What happened? I go, I have no idea. That probably happened to you a lot of times where you go, what just happened here?
Hey, Big D, we lost my senior night and to Michigan. Gary Grant hit a shot to beat us. It was first time Knight lost senior night. And seniors at Indiana talked to the crowd, right? So we're waiting. Knight wouldn't come out of the locker room. So I got 17,000 people there, and I got to start my senior night. Knight's not there. So I said, well, I guess he's not coming. And then after he told us, we're not going to the NIT. You guys don't deserve to play. So Uwe Blop, you remember Uwe Blop?
Yeah, drafted by Dallas.
Yeah, we went back to our apartment. We were roommates with a baseball player. We're like, well, season's over. Let's get drunk. So we started drinking beers. Next thing you know, I get a call about 2 hours later. Hey, Dakich, Blop, get the team in here. We're going to the NIT. Like, wait, we're 12 beers in as college kids, right? So we go. Next thing you know, we're in New York and Knight's screaming at you. There you go, Big D.
So you got the Pacers going to the NBA Finals. They're going to face who?
Yeah, I'm not going against OKC, even though I will say this. Man, I like what Anthony Edwards is about. And here's what I like about Anthony Edwards. He's really riding Rudy Gobert in a good way. Rudy Gobert's gotten good. I know people criticize Gobert. I'm watching Gobert in this series. Gobert, if you watch this, you'll understand this as a basketball guy. He's always in the right spot. Offensively, he goes opposite the ball, and he's not going to catch it other than the dunk it. And defensively, it's going to be huge because Gilgeous-Alexander puts you on an island, and he gets going downhill. You better be there defensively. I think it's going to be fascinating, but I think OKC is it's much better. They're so good, they're so tough. And D, here's a laugh, man. I love the crowds in these playoffs. OKC's got great crowds. These are great crowds, man. This is a bunch of fun, but OKC's been so good all year. They just got too much.
See, the thing is I watched Ant in college at Georgia, and I just thought that he was kind of a highlight.
Yeah.
And then Shai Gilgeous was just another Kentucky player, and the Clippers didn't even know what they had because they asked for all those first-round draft picks for him with the Paul George deal. Like, it's weird how those players, you get out of a system. Devin Booker didn't even start at Kentucky, and then goes in and averages 28 again. Like, how does that happen where these guys do coaches keep them down? Hey,
if you look at the dudes in the NBA, I love Cal, but these guys in the NBA, man, Jamal Murray was all right. He's a good player at Kentucky. I did their Bahamas trip. Like Kentucky, Seth Greenberg and I was like 3-4 games in the Bahamas. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was okay. Dan, I did an entire Battle of the Atlantis with Devontae Mitchell, whatever the hell his name is with the Cavs.
Donovan.
Yeah, Donovan, excuse me. If you'd have told me that's the 16th pick in the draft, I'd have been like, you're out. I did 4 straight games with him. He was good. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was good. He wasn't like, all right, man, hey, Dan, this guy's going to be the MVP now. Hang on here. No way. No. In fact, on those teams, as you mentioned, the best player on Kentucky then was Tyler Ulis, the little point guard. He was the guy everybody was talking about. But to your point, I don't know if coaches keep them down, man. But I know this. Those dudes at Kentucky, they get in the NBA, and next thing you know, holy hell.
Next thing you know, they're making $50 million a year.
And MVPs and commercials and everything else. It's good to be a player from Cal to get in the NBA, that's for sure.
Good luck with your Pacers. Good to talk to you again. Thank you,
Thanks,
bud.
Big D.
All right,
see you, brother.
That's Dan Dakich. We'll take a break. Phone calls coming up. We'll give you the poll question for the final hour of the program. We're back after this in the Dan Patrick Show.